Hello and welcome all of you to the Prelims PYQ discussion by New IAS. The theme for today's video is prominent personalities after 1900. This is from the modern history. The first question is from the 2015 Prelims. Consider the following statements. The first woman president of Indian National Congress was Sarojini Naidu. The first Muslim president of Indian National Congress was Badruddin Tyabji. So this is a question very specifically on the personalities, or you can say it's about Congress. So Congress was constituted in 1885, and in 1887 the president of Congress was Badruddin Tyabji. So if you know that fact, you can connect it with his community, which is Islam, and you can get this answer right. And second statement will be right. With respect to the woman president, Congress only had two women presidents. One was Annie Besant, the other was Sarojini Naidu. If you know that, then definitely Annie Besant will be before Sarojini Naidu, because Sarojini Naidu is always associated with something like a civil disobedience movement, and Annie Besant is associated with home rule movement and non-cooperation movement. So Annie Besant will come before Sarojini Naidu, hence this will be wrong. So the correct answer, by putting things into that perspective, is statement 2 only, which is option B here. If you don't know these facts that I just mentioned, this answer will be difficult. It will be a factual one. Otherwise, you can reach at this answer in the following context. So the first president, as I said, is Annie Besant. She was the president of the Calcutta session in 1917. Sarojini Naidu became the president in 1925 in the Kanpur session. And Badruddin Tyabji, as I said, was the president in 1887, just after two sessions in Madras. Moving to the second question, there is a description about a person. He wrote biographies of Mazzini, Garibaldi, and Shivaji and Sri Krishna. Stayed in America for some time and was also elected to the Central Assembly. So see the options here: Motilal Nehru, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal, and Aurobindo Ghosh. So Aurobindo Ghosh was a revolutionary leader, later led a retired life after 1905-1906. Then Bipin Chandra Pal, again a revolutionary leader. Lajpat Rai, a versatile personality. Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru's father, someone who drafted the constitution in 1928. So this definition has to suit someone who has touched upon various fields, someone who has stayed in America, someone who was elected to the Central Assembly, and someone who has written extensively on topics from world history to spirituality to Indian leaders. So this suits for Lajpat Rai. If you know the nature of the personalities, then this question can be picked. Otherwise, again, this is a factual question. Studying a personality in its entirety is very important. That's what this question tells us. Take the case of Lajpat Rai. He was known as Punjab Kesari, and he was part of the Lal Bal Pal trio. And he was also the IMC president, something very important, in 1920 Calcutta session. In 1921, he founds the Servants of People Society. It's a non-profit welfare organization. Then he traveled. In 1917, he traveled to US. He was most famous for the brutal assault he received during the protest against Simon Commission in 1927. And he succumbed to the injuries and he died after that. It is in retaliation to that only Bhagat Singh has resorted to violent act against the British after 1927. And he has written extensively, as I said, a story about my deportation in 1908, Arya Samaj in 1915, the United States of America, Hindu impression in 1916, and also about Mazzini, Garibaldi, Shivaji, and Sri Krishna. So see the kind of topics he has written, very versatile, starting from US, travelogues, about biographies, and Arya Samaj, something spiritual here. So this is the versatility of the personality. It's important to understand a personality from top to bottom to answer questions like these. Moving to the third question, it's a match the following. You have a movement on one side, organization and leader on the other. All India Anti-Untouchability League, Mahatma Gandhi. All India Kisan Sabha, Swami Shahjahan Saraswati. Self-Respect Movement, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. Now, EVR or Periyar Ramaswamy Naikar and Self-Respect Movement, something very fundamental. Don't have to go into the depth of it. Something you can easily connect. So these two options will be eliminated. All India Anti-Untouchability League will become automatically, no, it won't become automatically correct. It has a catch here. See this, All India Anti-Untouchability League. And you know that Mahatma Gandhi launched this constructive program in 1920s. So in opposition to B.R. Ambedkar, after the Pune Pact, Gandhi also launched a series of organizations for the untouchables, and this is one among that. He focused on eliminating untouchability, whereas people like Ambedkar, they focused on the eradication of caste as a whole. So this particular term, Anti-Untouchability League, this can be connected to Gandhi rationally as well. So the right answer here is 1, 2 and 3, and All India Kisan Sabha becomes automatically right there, and it was launched by Sahajanand Saraswati as the first president of All India Kisan Sabha. This I already explained. A.V. Ramaswamy Naika, self-respect and the demolition of caste structure entirely was his motto. Gandhi in 1932 launched the Anti-Untouchability League. Moving to the next question, again I match the following. You have three names. Sir Tej Bahadur Supru, President, All India Liberal Federation; K.C. Nyogi, Member the Constituent Assembly; P.C. Joshi, General Secretary, Communist Party of India. I would rate this question very difficult because see this option, Member of the Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly was a big body and you have to pick this name out of that. Again, General Secretary of Communist Party. Communist Party has had a lot of General Secretaries. Again, you have to pick it out of that. And Tej Bahadur Sapru, or President of All India Liberal Federation. Again, not a very prominent organization. So this is a very factual question. If you know it, you know it. Going to the answer key, pair 1 is correct. All India Liberal Federation was founded by Surendranath Banerjee and some of its prominent leaders. So Tej Bahadur Sapru was not the founder but one of its leader. Here it is given as the president. He was in fact the president of this federation as well. And K.C. Nyogi was the member of a constituent assembly and is not merely a member. He is a very prominent personality. He was also a member of the first cabinet and the chairman of the first finance commission. So UPSC hasn't picked a random name from the constituent assembly and placed it here. This is a very important personality in the modern India. Then P.C. Joshi, one of the earliest leaders of communist movements in India. So Communist Party was established in 1925 and he was one of the earliest leaders. And the first General Secretary of the Communist Party. Not any General Secretary, but the first General Secretary. So these are names which are very important in the context of different organizations. So when you study organization, be careful with the names and people associated with it, especially the first and the last. Moving to the next question. With reference to the book Deshar Katha, written by Sukharam Ganesh Duskar, during the freedom struggle, consider the following statements. It warned against the colonial state's hypnotic conquest of mind. It inspired the performance of Swadeshi street plays and folk songs. The use Desh by Duskar was in specific context of the region of Bengal. Again, something that is not very familiar, the Deshar Katha. I'll explain it with the help of answer key. So Deshar Katha was very popular during the Swadeshi movement. So naturally the second option here will become correct because it's inspired the performance of Swadeshi street plays and folk plays. And what was the content of that? It summarized the works of M.G. Ranade and Dadabhai Nauroji. This was a time when Dadabhai Nauroji was writing books like Drain Theory, where they were explaining the loot by the colonialists. So this book summarized that, and in the last chapter it talks about hypnotic conquest of the mind, and that's the first point that is given here. And the last option, Desh here, since it talked about Dadabhai Nauroji and M.G. Ranade, they used Desh in the larger context and not just in the context of Bengal. So naturally this book is also going to have a pan-India vision, and this option, the last option, is wrong. That's the only option wrong here, and 1 and 2 becomes the right answer. The next question, with reference to Madnapalle of Andhra Pradesh, which one of the following statement is correct? Pingali Vengaya designed the tricolor flag here. Pattabi Siddharamaya led the Quit India movement of Andhra region from here. Rabindranath Tagore translated national anthem from Bengali to English here. Madam Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott set up headquarters of Theosophical Society first year. Now this is an easy pick because Theosophical Society was not Indian origin. It was first founded in New York. Then it had its headquarters in Madras, Atia. So this is a straightaway no. Now first option, Pingali Vengaya. Now this is about Andhra Pradesh. Pingali Vengaya gave this flag and designed it in Vijayawada and not in Andhra Pradesh. It's a very basic fact that we study when we study the national flag. So this also can be wrong. These two options are complex, but this place, when UPSC asks a place of this nature with such relevance, it should have something very significant, just like option 3. It is in this place that Rabindranath Tagore translated the national anthem from Bengali to English. Pingali Vengaya, as I've already told, gave the flag to Gandhi in Vijayawada session only, and Theosophical Society was founded in New York. The first association with India was from Madras, Adyar. So this becomes the right answer here. So certain key points with respect to fundamental themes like national flag becomes important in the context of questions like this. Coming to the last question of the discussion, who among the following is associated with Song from Prison? a translation of ancient Indian religious relics in English. Now, the nature of the book is given in the question itself, ancient Indian religious lyrics. Now, Jawaharlal Nehru, was an agnostic scientific temper, so it's very unlikely that he'll translate something like this to English. Then you have Sarojini Naidu, Gandhi, and Gangadhar Tilak. And songs of prison, it should be a person who has been in prison for a long time and who is into writing as well, who is into spirituality as well. So most probably this is going to be Gandhi, and the right answer is Gandhi itself. But this is a factual question. You cannot guess like I did right now. You just have to study this fact in its context. So this is about the Quit India movement. If you study the Quit India movement, Gandhi was jailed immediately once the declaration was made. Gandhi gave the declaration on August 8th for do or die, and Gandhi, along with all the other major leaders, were arrested. And when he was in the prison in Yerwada jail in Pune, he wrote this Songs of Prison. And it included hymns from Upanishads and poems from Indian saint poets into English. So this is something that is associated with the Quit India movement. So what these questions from the personalities teach us is, when you study an organization, you study the leaders. When you study a personality, you study that personality from top to bottom. You place that personality in its context rather than studying 2-3 key facts about that. So only that will help you to solve questions like this. Thank you for listening.